Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator based here in the Midlands, not far from Stratford-on-Avon. So today's project, a little bit different. I haven't actually got the finished article to show you because basically I made this sample a little while ago and I was going to come to recreate it and I was never really completely happy with it. So love the front of it. And I love this section of it, and I love the idea of having a card holder, but I kind of wasn't happy with this kind of finish here, and also the fact that it's obscured the whole of it without putting a complete panel. So I've kind of worked out I'm going to do a different variant on it, and I'm going to work it through as I go through today. So let's get going. Hopefully we'll have enough time. So to start off with then, I'm going to create a card base. And I'll make that using my Highland Heather cardstock. And so I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock at 10.5 centimetres by 28, because that'll give me a standard card base that is easy to add to and easy to create layers for as well. Because if I'm doing something that's going to do a half fold, that's what I want to be able to do. Okay, but in fact, yeah, okay, let's go with this. Okay, so I'm going to score that at 14, and that'll create our landscape base. Okay, so there's my card base. I'm then going to create a fold out layer. So I'm going to use the other half of my piece of cardstock, and I'm going to we'll keep that at 10.5, and it will, if we make that 8 centimetres, and I'm going to score at 7 centimetres. So that's going to be our little fold out flap to add our gift card to. Okay. Then we want some layers. So layers that we want a layer for the front and a layer for the inside, and I'm using the gorgeous grape here. And so if we cut this at 10 centimetres, I want two pieces that are 10 centimetres by 13.5. So if I cut two at 10 and then trim those down to 13.5. And then we'll want some Whisper White layers to mat onto those. So these are going to create our card layers, as you can see there. And we want some Whisper White. And I'll want some layers for my fold out piece as well. So for my fold out piece, I'll want those at 10 by 6.5. Yeah. Okay. 10 by 6.5. Okay, and another bit of gorgeous grape. Again, 10 by 6.5. Yep. Okay, so two of those. Then my Whisper White. So I'm going to want two pieces that are 13 centimetres. Because that's just the ½ centimetre less than our width by 9.5, and again that's ready to mat and layer onto those. And then we want again let's go for two layers of these. So we want 9.5 by 6. So if we cut this at 6 centimetres, I haven't made good use of that, never mind. Okay. Okay, so I think that's probably all of our layers that we need so far. I want something to create a little card holder. So in terms of the card holder, probably 10 by 4.5-ish. So I've probably got something on my scraps here. Near enough 10. There you go, by about 4.5. Okay, just go slightly bigger by 5. So that'll be our... And I was thinking, rather than using a die, which I used on the original one, just what I'm going to do is take a punch and just line that up I'm going to line it up with the bottom edge and punch to create a little pocket for our die. Okay, for our die. Nothing to do with the die at all, for our card. So that should work. Okay, might be a little bit snug, but yeah, that should be fine. So it's just enough to put a piece of red tape around the back there. And on this, I would recommend that you use tape because it gives us a little bit of dimension to allow that card to slot in as well. Okay, so let's get stamping. Okay, so I've got my layers for inside and the front. I've got my 2 layers for my card holder, and I've got my card holder. Okay, doke. So let's pop the scraps to one side. So for the front, I'm using the lovely, beautiful Friendship stamp set, which is this one here. And I've said before, this stamp set really doesn't look particularly spectacular on its own, but until you add the ink, and then it's just absolutely beautiful. And I hadn't appreciated how lovely it was until I used it and saw samples made with it, at which point you kind of go, how did I not see this? So it's a large stamp, so I'm just putting my ink pad to the stamp. And going over the edges as well. I might just give that a bit of a wipe around the edge there. And then I'm just going to pop that just towards the bottom half of the card, roughly in the middle. I'll move that out of the way so you don't get the reflection. And look at that, isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to then use one of the other smaller stamps from the same stamp set, and with this what I'm actually doing is I'm adding the colour just to the flower heads, and then I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow and just use the corner of that to add a bit of colour. Let's pop those just either side. So again, don't drop it on. So I'm just coming in, as you can see, on the corner there. Now you could use your markers if you had markers instead, if you want to be more precise. But you don't. You really don't have to. These stamps are designed to kind of give a ephemeral effect. And I'm going to come in now with my leaves, and I'm going to use first and second generation stamping here, so I'm going to use 1 and 2 just to kind of give a different effect. As with leaves, obviously, they come in various shades and tones, and you don't always want the same effect all the time. There's also a paired leaf as well, so I'm going to use that to come in, and I am just stamping over these leaves. I'm not worrying about masking because I think you get a really pretty effect if you don't. So that's my my focal image, and I've made a mess by actually adding some ink onto the corner there, a bit of a smut. So I think that might be where I'm going to stamp my sentiment. So the sentiment actually comes from a slightly different set. So it actually comes from Magnolia Blooms, this one here. And this is one in the little mini catalogue for beginner stampers. Great starter stamp set that fits with our Magnolia Blooms. And it's got three really useful sentiments. Congratulations, happy birthday, and a thank you. The key kind of phrases that we use in our card making. So let's try and avoid getting any more Mossy Meadow onto anything else. Pop those to one side. So I'm just going to use my happy birthday stamp, and I'm using Gorgeous Grape ink. Now again, you could use I'm actually going to pop that in the middle, and do you know what? I'm going to add some rhinestones to cover that a little smut up. Okay, yeah, let's go in there. Hopefully that's reasonably, there we go, perfect. So, great, whenever you always have rhinestones to hand. I've just got my pack of rhinestones here, and all I'm going to do is just pop some rhinestones kind of to cover up zinc smuts there. Little group of 3. Then I'll add some more on the opposite side. There we go. Okay, so that's our layer for the front. Let's work on our layer for the middle section. Okay, so let's come in quickly now. So I've actually used this lovely, almost like a hydrangea head image for the middle there. Then I'm going to come in with some of our sort of rose type images. Or perhaps actually I might even use this one again. Just quickly clean that off. And grab our pool party ink. Okay, so let's try it again. It went very quiet, didn't it? That was the thought process going on. Because I'm used to planning things out, it's quite strange sort of not having a final sample. I'm actually going to come in with that hydrangea head a couple more times. Looks a little bit empty there, so all I'm going to do is just put another one in there, another one in the top corner, and then I'm going to come in with the birthdays are the best days using our gorgeous grape. Like so. Okay, so pop a couple of these away now. So we've got our 2 panels, and what we need to do now is just quickly decorate our 2 side panels. So I'm going to do those the same. I'm going to use our rose image. So I'm going to pop our leaves in. And then on the one, I'm going to come in with the, it's almost like a wisteria flower on the top there. and fill with some Stamping Off. Change the height slightly as well. Okay, I think we're ready to construct. So, let's get all our pieces together and get going. So, a bit of red tape we need. Card base. So the front layers are really easy. You're just going to add those on with some tape. And we're adding a layer onto the front. Now before we do our layer onto the middle, what we're going to do is just snip the corners off there. Add a piece of tape to the reverse. And just layer that up. Just come slightly to the side, score mark. Then we can add our card layer. Like so. Add our middle layer. Probably a little bit off camera, apologies. And we can add our front layer. I probably should have added my rhinestones on afterwards. Because it's more difficult to add something to a shaped surface. And we're almost there. Because all that's left to do is add our panel here. Typical, I just ran out of glue. Okay. Panel. And panel. Then on the inside, let's add our pop a panel in there quickly. And then all that's left is to add our little bit on. So you've got some super fine real red, not real red tape, that's for certain. Some fine super sticky red tape, which just pops down on the very outer edge of those. And it might make it a little bit snug. I perhaps need to just amend. Perhaps an extra ½ centimetre on those measurements might be better. So here we have a pretty birthday card with a gift card holder. That'll just slot. I didn't need that extra whisper white probably. Ready for a gift card. There we go, just done in time. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon. If you'd like to purchase any of these products, pop along to my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Follow the links there. I'll add the dimensions and there we go. Birthday card, gift card holder, all in one. Definite improvement on my original. Thanks for watching. Bye now.